Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'll be trying out some Fijian Waka from bulakavahouse.com. And this is ground kava root, which if you're not familiar with kava, it's the root of a Pacific Island plant used to make a non-alcoholic beverage, and people drink it for its relaxing, mildly intoxicating effects. I'm a big fan of kava and have been for years because I just really like the way it feels. I use it similar to how I use cannabis and hemp products as a way to just kind of unwind at the end of the day. Although personally, I find kava to be a bit more social and less introspective than cannabis. But much like cannabis, there are different strains of kava that have different effects. Some of them are more sedative, some have more of a strong euphoric feeling, some are more clear-headed. So it's fun to try different varieties and see which effects you like the best. And again, this is ground kava. It's not instant or micronized or anything, so you do have to knead it in water to make a drink. But it's pretty easy, and I'll show how that's done here in a bit. Here's what it looks like. Light tan in color, almost like a fine sawdust in terms of consistency. I would describe the smell as being light and woodsy with a bit of a black pepper spiciness to it. The instructions say to use 2 tablespoons per 6 to 8 ounces of water as 1 serving. So I'm gonna go ahead and measure out 2 servings or 4 tablespoons, which should be enough to feel some effects. Depending on the strength of the kava, I usually take anywhere between 2 to 4 servings, but I can almost always feel it after just 2 servings, even if it isn't as strong of an effect as I would prefer. Here I'm just using a little mesh bag to knead it in, and this is definitely the more traditional method, but there are so many ways to make kava. So if you don't have a bag like this, you can use just about any fabric. In fact, Bula Kava House even sells fabric straining bags specifically for kava. Or sometimes I'll put it in a big mason jar and shake it for a long time, then pour it through a strainer. Basically, what you're trying to do here is let the water pull out as much of the good stuff from the kava as possible, while leaving all of the woody fibers behind. And you generally want to use room temperature or slightly warm water, never hot water, and definitely never boiling water. Otherwise you'll end up with a really bitter, nasty tasting drink. And I knead mine for about 10 to 15 minutes. After that, I have the strained kava, which at this point hardly has any of the good stuff left in it. Sometimes I'll do another batch with this just to get everything out, but even tasting it at this point, there's pretty much no flavor left, so most of the potency has already been extracted out of it. And this is the actual kava drink. I like to use a spoon to stir it between servings, otherwise it'll settle and the last drink will not be pleasant. Then I just get a small bowl or a coffee cup, scoop out a good sized drink, and yeah, cheers! Right away, the flavor of this variety is very mild. Some kava can be really bitter or just intensely earthy tasting, but this is just a little bit woodsy, a bit of that black pepper spice to it, but otherwise really smooth and almost creamy. I finished all of it over the course of maybe 45 minutes in several drinks, and I can easily say this is one of the more drinkable kava varieties I've tried. At this point, the effects are already kicking in, and to me, it just feels really peaceful. It doesn't feel disorienting or drunk or anything. It's just calm and pleasant. Some kava strains can be more sedating and kind of groggy, but this one feels a lot more mentally focused and upbeat. And yeah, I think this would be a perfect social kava. Like if you have a few friends over and you want to try something different from alcohol or cannabis, these are the kind of effects that will make everyone feel more comfortable and have a good time, without impairing your focus or making you feel drunk. Now, with kava, if you overdo it, even a clear-headed strain like this can start to feel groggy, but the nice thing is that it kicks in pretty fast. It's not like THC edibles where the effects don't peak for an hour or two. I usually feel kava within about 15 minutes, which is nice because you can space your doses out and drink more every 10 or 15 minutes until it feels strong enough. And if you do drink too much, you're not gonna have a bad time like with cannabis edibles. There's none of that paranoia or anxiety or anything. It just feels kind of groggy and sleepy, but still pleasant overall. So yeah, that's the Fijian Waka from bulakavahouse.com. I put some links in the description if you want to try this stuff out. If you're just getting into kava, I think this is probably the most approachable ground kava I've tried as far as taste and effects go. So this would be a really good one to start with. I have a couple of other varieties from Bula that I'll try in future videos, so stick around for those if you're interested. But that's it for this video. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave those below. And if you enjoy this kind of review, don't forget to like and subscribe because that lets me know to keep making them. But for now, stay chill, and I will see you next time.